That I can. Or am I using the phone?
Do we need a mic?
Yes, your voice is very soft. Just right now, yeah, I would say it's just.
Okay. Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam Dukula Valayadikam Nirmamaha Nirahankaraha Sanchina Asheshabandanaha Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam Dukula Valayadikam Nirmamo Nirahankaraha Sanchina Sheshabandanaha Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam Dukula Valayadikam Nirmamo Nirahankara Sanchina Sheshabandanaha. Please chant.
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Dukulam Valayadikam
Dukula Valayadikam
Kara
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Sanchita Shesha Bandhana
Sanchina Sheshabandanaha.
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Dukula Valayadikam
Dukula Valayadikam
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Sanchina Sheshabandhana
Sanchita Shesha Bandhana
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Visrijya Tatra Tat Sarvam
Dukula Valayadikam
Dukula Valayadikam
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Sanchina Sheshabandhana
Sanchita Shesha Bandhana
Visrijya
Visrijya
relinquishing
Tatra
Tatra all those
all those
Tat that Sarvam everything Dukula belt Valayanikam and bangles Nirmamaha uninterested Nirahankaraha unattached Sanchina perfectly cut off Asheshabandanaha unlimited attachment. Translation: Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belt, and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Purport: to become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become associate of the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaja Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The kashaya, or saffron loincloth of a sannyasi, indicates freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became disinterested in his kingdom and family, and thus became free from all material contamination, or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of designations, the designations of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designations, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designations before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in national consciousness. But here is an example of Maharaja Yudhishthira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead, Sri Rama. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam
Tasmai Shri Gurave
Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swarupa Kadam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utam Padakama Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahara Sajid Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakam Vitamshta Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chirapande Gopishva Dr. Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Radhe Vishavanu Suteri Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakapatarmyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Visijat Tatra Tat Sarvam Dukula Valayadikam Nirmamo Nirahankara Sanchina Shresha Bandhanaha. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belt, and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. It's a very nice chapter from Srimad Bhagavatam. Where Pandavas are retiring from their government service. And it's a very nice message for everyone that we may have different occupations in life, but these occupations are not our eternal position, because everything in this world is changed. Does it mean that occupations are not important? No. They are also important. Human being has to be engaged according to his capacities, according to his nature. Obviously, human being needs to eat, sleep, just to survive in this world. That's why Vedic scriptures, they give us instructions how to do our duties according to our talents and natural propensities. But also Vedic wisdom gives us perspective, long-term, or we can say transcendental perspective on what's going on. And that's we will have to live all this at some point. So nobody can live eternally. Nobody can work a particular job, even if you have people who like their occupation or job. But they cannot do it eternally. In one sense, also particular place in which we live, or even particular service which we are doing, it may not be, Krishna may have a different plan. Jivara Sarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Living entity is eternal servant of Krishna. But even eternal servant of Krishna, they very often they need to change their positions or accept position which is not kind of comfortable. We all know that Arjuna at one point, he became a eunuch. So he was a very heroic warrior, but he became like eunuch, and he was teaching dance to some girls. It's kind of awkward position. Also, we know that Yudhishthir, when they were in exile, he was in charge for the horses. He was working as Shudra, taking care of horses for the king, Virata. That was the last year when they were in exile. So it may not be as we kind of would like it to be. Sometimes in certain circumstances, we have to accept different position, different service. So devotees, because of their surrender to Krishna, they are ready to do anything and everything for Krishna. They are ready to accept everything, even things or situation which everyone else would kind of give up. Devotees would be still ready to continue doing it. And at the same time, devotees are ready to give up anything. You can see here, Maharaj Yudhishthira. For the service of the Lord, he actually accepted the kingdom, although he was not so greedy about position. But Krishna made arrangements that Yudhishthira actually becomes an emperor. Actually, at a great cost, so many lives were lost just so that goal could be accomplished. But and although Yudhishthira didn't like that situation, he was not happy. But for Krishna's service, he accepted. And later on, when Krishna departed, Pandavas, they also decided to leave. They installed. Who was that? They left the kingdom.
Rage.
I don't know if they actually installed Parikshit.
They did. We just read it the other day.
Yeah, they did.
They installed him, and they also installed Vajra as the king of Mathura.
Yeah.
As the verse before this one.
Oh, yeah. So, and they left. So, in life, and also in the service of particular devotees or great devotees or small devotees, there's a time to live and there's a time to leave at one point. We have to leave. That situation is favorable for Krishna's service because leaving material world and leaving our designations. Of course, we can use different designations in Krishna's service. For example, if somebody is a student, like Prahlad Maharaj, he was a student in school, but he was preaching Krishna consciousness. And later on, he became a king, so it's a whole different situation. Obviously, as a king, he had different role, more. He was empowered to, set up standards. And according to what I have understood, he practically engaged demons in worshipping Lord Nrsimha. That's what Bhagavatam explains. So it's a different role. Yeah. On the one hand, there are people who are bound to their duties, occupations, just because they have taken birth in a human body. A human being has a lot of duties to perform. And we can see people who are good in executing their duties. They become successful in life. Yeah, in material prosperity, they obtain some material prosperity, reputation. Their family flourishes like that. But there are also transcendental devotees of the Lord, liberated souls, who also act as ordinary human beings in order to show these conditioned souls that they could do all these duties in connection with Krishna and worship Krishna. And there are also conditioned souls who are still not liberated, but who have taken to the process of Krishna consciousness. We accepted we are somewhere in between. We have characteristics of liberated souls because we worship Krishna. We accept Krishna as our ultimate goal, service to Krishna and his devotees. And on the other hand, we still also have a lot of qualities of conditioned souls. We are prone to kind of forgetfulness, fear, identifying with the body. Although we chant Hare Krishna, we preach that we are not the body, but very often we identify with the body. So we are kind of somewhere in between. So for people who are in between, it is not recommended to renounce their occupation or even change their position. They are actually encouraged to stay wherever they are and try to add more Krishna consciousness in their life. So for them, that's something very practical, something which everyone can do, and it makes it easier. And we can see that many devotees are starting like that. So life in this world is actually, for a devotee, is meant for giving up designations. That doesn't mean giving up activities necessarily. So otherwise, if somebody gives up the activity or duty without giving up designation, one can end up as a hippie who is free, like many people in Venice Beach, in Los Angeles. They're homeless, even young people. They have no duties, they just live like street animals. No plans, no, totally free. No worries, but actually in a big anxiety, struggling. And obviously there's always some violence between these people. It's not safe to be outside at night. So it's a miserable condition. So the main point of detaching ourselves from this world is in detaching our self in terms of becoming free from wrong conceptions, like designation or identification with the body and nationality. It doesn't come just by leaving the position. Although in extreme cases, that's also one of the methods. That's what Prahlad Maharaj advised to his father, as far as I can remember. Practically, Prahlad Maharaj said that people who cannot, if you cannot control your senses, one should retire to the forest and try to live austere life. And then maybe that could help you. But obviously, Hiranyakashipu couldn't appreciate that. He felt offended because he was already in the forest. He was already doing so much austerities by which he was able to conquer the whole world.
Mm.
So what's the use of such austerity and so-called detachment from sense gratification if his goal is to just increase his wrong conceptions, designations? I'm the king, I want to be immortal in the material body, which is Prabhupada, also Imam purport in 7th Canto. He says that desiring something which is not possible is in the mode of ignorance. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to become immortal in his own body and wanted to practically occupy a position of the supreme controller in the universe. But that's not possible. Even the supreme person in this universe, Brahma, he's kind of controller, but actually he feels exhausted by it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like his position. He's not comfortable. And therefore, he is worshipping the Supreme Lord to obtain liberation, perfection of life. So even Brahma, who is official controller of the universe, or head of the universe, he's not comfortable. He's doing what he has to do, but actually he's aiming at perfection of life by worshipping the Lord. So giving up designations, there's mechanical way, like one can take to the process of mystic yoga and try to control the mind and develop some powers to kind of dissolve different elements in the body and mechanically find the auspicious time for leaving the body so he can obtain liberation. That's one way. And there's more natural way is process of bhakti yoga by hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping the Lord. Ultimately, even if somebody is doing that mechanical way, he has to add bhakti to his practice in order to advance or achieve desired goal. So by worshipping Krishna, by hearing, chanting about Krishna, our knot in the heart becomes slackened. Vidnyante hrida grantish chidyante sarvasamsha. Bhagavatam explains that by practicing Krishna consciousness, we naturally come to the position of mode of goodness, and we start to become blissful and happy, and the knot of material attachment, that knot is not like literal knot. It's more like a concept, or how do you call that in English? Hanger. You have kind of attached to a particular idea, and you just cannot give it up. Just by hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, serving devotees, which is all these activities are very natural, associating with people. They are very natural, but we are doing it in the association of devotees. And just by doing it, by adopting the culture, the practice of Krishna consciousness, the knot in the heart becomes slackened. So when the knot becomes slackened, one becomes nirmama. Here it is translated as uninterested, which means indifferent to this world, indifferent to situation. Materialistic people, even materialistic people, they don't like their position. That's why they are always trying to improve. And they're upset. Oh, I have to fix this. I have to get that, get more money. I have to avoid this enemy and maybe kill him. Yeah. But devotee, that's why devotee becomes titikshava. Devotee becomes extremely tolerant. Not because he likes the pains of life, troubles, but because that not, I want to perfect my life materially. Everything has to be perfect. so I can have my sense gratification. Perfect family, perfect job, perfect salary, perfect body, perfect clothes. Everything has to be perfect. That's called Griha Brata. Wow, that I want to make my material life perfect, which is not possible. Ultimately, it's temporary. And even temporarily, nobody has perfect body, perfect family, perfect material relation, perfect love, perfect weapons. Everything has some flaw in it. And then I become upset. Oh, why is this so? Let me try this. Let me try that. Always disturbed. Samudvigan. Always. Samudvigan mana. Their mind is always disturbed. It says. Why? Because they have accepted asatgrahat. They have accepted that which is temporary, that which is not natural for them, or we can say for us also. Yeah, that's where disturbance becomes. But as our false ego becomes dissolved, one becomes detached. That's why Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he explains what happens to a person who becomes free from Hridaya Granthi. Actually, is he becoming miserable? He becomes indifferent, free from false ego. Is he losing his identity? Is he becoming nothing, dull, lazy? No, actually, he becomes very blissful. So when the false ego is kind of pierced or slackened, that attachment to idea I'm the enjoyer, when we get rid of it, actually we feel relief. That's why advanced devotees, they feel super blissful. And there's a whole list of qualities of devotees who have done so. They develop great taste for chanting. That's something. Mm. Yeah. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's Madhya 23, 18 to 19. It says, Kshantir avyartha kalatvam, viratir manashunyata, ashabandha samutkanta, namagane sadaruchi. Asakti stad gunatyane, priti stad vasati stale, ityadayo nubalaksyu, jata bhavam kure jana. Says, devotee becomes kshanti, forgiveness. In this world, we are always kind of harmed by, that's why Sheshka Prabhu said, it's not that there are problems in this world, the whole world is a problem. I think I have some problems, but actually, if I get rid of them, I'll be just fine. No, the whole idea of being happy here, comfortable, permanently, it's not possible. That's why the devotee becomes tolerant. He can forgive doesn't make any enemies. Vyartha Kalatvam, advanced devotee doesn't waste any time. People who don't waste any time have also one very interesting quality, which is very connected to that. Which quality is that? Somebody is not disciplined, okay. He's enthusiastic. That means your enthusiasm, you want to apply it all the time. So that's why the devotee doesn't want to waste any time. He's always trying to be connected to Krishna and make some plans for Krishna service. Virakti, he's very detached to things. His false ego is slackened, and that's why he's ready to give up anything. Or in other sense also, he's able to engage everything in Krishna service. He can accept or reject according to instruction of the spiritual master or according to circumstances. Manashunyata is free from false prestige. He's not trying to impress anyone or become a celebrity. Ashabanda, he has great hope that Krishna will soon give him his mercy. Samutkanta, eagerness, that's very similar to enthusiasm. Namagane, Sadaruchi, always likes chanting the holy names. Priti for what? For Vasati Stale, for the places where Krishna is worshipped, or holy places like Vrindavan, or temples, or ashram. One becomes attached. Yeah. So these are all qualities. Most probably, even beginning practitioners, we also have these qualities, but they are not maybe prominent. So our job is to make them more prominent. So that's the goal, and that's the method. I think we can stop here. How much more time do we have?
8 months.
In 8 minutes, we will try to answer a couple of questions. So I would like to stop here, and I would like to hear from you.
Many times it seems like with preaching, it's more than just distributing books and going on Harinam and giving classes. And I've noticed, at least in myself, I'd probably like to be doing those activities the majority of the time, but many times in preaching it requires things besides that which may not always be so enlivening, where you're kind of having to deal with what could be perceived as like mundane activities. Like you gave the example of you're having to take care of the horses. So how do we navigate those circumstances in a way that we can feel encouraged in our service?
Yeah, we should think that like collecting money or taking care of accounting doesn't look like preaching. But we should think these are all ingredients for the Sankirtan. Yeah. So collecting, that's also part of Archana. There's also a Sanskrit term. So before worshipping the Lord, there is a method called, I forgot now, something, Dravya or something. You are collecting stuff. So instead of sitting in front of the Lord to start worshiping, then you realize, okay, I don't have gimmicks, I don't have the flower, I don't have this, I don't have that. So before you do it, you should kind of make a plan and collect all these things. And before you actually do the worship, you are doing it mentally in your mind. You just sit in meditation, and then you do actual puja with dravya or with articles or ingredients. So in the course of meditation, at least, most probably you will notice, oh, actually, I don't have this, I don't have that. So, and also it's good to have a list of things which you need to use in worship, especially how pujaris do it. So the same goes for the preachers. We also like to actually be successful in our activities. We want to do something, just like Prabhupada in one purport in the second canto. He says that with I'm paraphrasing, by communicating with spiritual master, one should one should try to understand how much service is actually being done, and one should not be attached to formalities. For example, if we do our, let's say, book distribution, if we think, okay, I'm doing this as a job, and I'm just going dutifully, and something comes out, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do the same. But actually, we should be asking, what's our next step? Is this proper? And is there anything else needs to be added to this? Not just going out and coming back. Bhaktisiddhanta, he had a proverb. He would say, "Go out, beg a rice, cook it, eat it, and lay down to sleep." So one can do even preaching in such a way. So we are doing preaching in order to just make a living. But we can actually do the preaching also. We should be doing preaching for the sake of actually helping the conditioned souls, connecting them with the spiritual master, pleasing the spiritual master. That's all different. All the activity is the same, but intention is different. Do you understand? So this idea, I'm just gonna go out, I'm just gonna beg some rice, a sadhu, and bring that rice back and cook it, offer it to the Lord, eat it, and then we can sleep peacefully. And tomorrow we'll do the same. Now we should be thinking proactively and make nice plans and arrangements for spreading Krishna's glories, helping other people to become Krishna conscious, not just being interested in their dollars or rice. So, also in warfare, preparation is very important. Having enough weapons, ammunition, having trained soldiers, qualified soldiers. So all these things are important. So we should think in such a way that doing other things is not a waste of time. I remember when I was a young devotee, I was quite impatient, and I told my spiritual master that I feel when I go to school, I feel I'm wasting time. I should be doing something for Krishna. But my spiritual master said, yeah, I also, when I eat, every time I eat, I feel I'm wasting time. So it's part of life. If we want to have something done for Krishna, we'll make sure that even this preparation part is important. Because some people say, obviously there is true in this, that preparation and opportunities, they give rise to success. So taking care of the car, accounting, bills, health, other things, all these things should be offered in yajna, and that yajna should produce result which is desired, and that's purification of the hearts of participants and benefit of everyone else who participated in it. So all these things. That's why, in one sense, building temples is also troubles. It's a lot. You have to collect a lot of money. That's why Rupa Goswami actually he discouraged spiritual guru Vaishnava to open temple. I mean, Rupa Goswami established a temple, and then he says one shouldn't be too enthusiastic, but it means one shouldn't try if it's not within his capacity to do so, but rather that there should be more emphasis on teaching and preaching, just like we can see here. It's our temple here, it's like small house actually compared to Indian temples. But it's very lively, a lot of activities, a lot of good distribution, so like that. Otherwise you build a temple and then there is no life, no sankirtan, no yajna. Everything becomes a ritual and people automatically comes and they give rice. You don't even have to go out and back. They give you money and you eat and you think this is perfection of life. No, it's not. Actually, it's definitely better than simple life, but that's not the mood of our parampara system. Our system is Jiva Doya, Vaishnava Seva, and Namaruchi. Thanks for chanting. So,
Hare Krishna.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki